what got you to that blue tint? Like, I feel like that caught a lot of people's eye.
Yeah, well, Blue Hour, so that's like something from, I mean, that's a film school thing.
Right.
Cinematographers, photographers know it too, of course, but golden hour is kind of when everybody thinks of Southern California.
Right.
You know, the sunset and the golden, you know. But then right after that, you get the blue hour, which is only maybe like 20 to 30 minutes of twilight.
Right, for sure.
And that to me, like, I call blue hour the filet mignon of daylight.
Ooh, I like
because
that.
it's like,
I like
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Unlucky Specialist Podcast. Yours truly, Sam Torres.
And your boy, Fitz, aka Jeff the Bennett. We out here once again.
We're out here in the valley in a new spot. You're looking around at
it's
at
different.
Us, and you're saying, you know what? What's going on here, guys? Where are you at? Why are we seeing a new couch? Why is there a pillow that says pop?
We're at the secret location, bro.
Secret layer. We're out here. But I just want to thank you guys for listening in. Thank you for following us at Unlucky Specialist on Instagram, at The Unlucky Specialist on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, notification bell. Hit that that whenever we put out a video, you'll know. But thank you guys. I want to appreciate everything that you've supported so far. But as we always do, how was your week, Jeff? How are you doing? You hear some music around us because we're in a secret location, but how are you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I feel blessed to be in this location. This is a good spot. It was a regular week, though. Honestly, nothing crazy.
It's Halloween week.
I did the Halloween. My girlfriend's dad threw a party. His birthday is sometime in October. I'm done for that.
And it was
I don't know the day. Nacho Libre themed, and we got lit, bro. It was fun. Amber's family knows how to have a good time.
He impersonated perfectly. What's his name? The guy with the
gold mask. Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know. I don't know, but he did it well, and so did her mom. Did like basically Nacho Libre, but like before he was a wrestler and shit. Yeah. That shit was good too.
That was good. I like that. I also spend time with my family. You know, went out.
Nice.
I was the devil.
I saw the costumes, bro. Yeah. You guys went in.
Yeah, Monique was a shark, but
that was good. I love
fun.
that.
It's always fun. I feel like
she was the baby shark.
Yeah, I don't know. How is that baby?
Baby shark.
No. How is that the baby shark? Because little kids were coming up to her and saying, "Hi, baby shark."
Like, that's what it was.
She was a normal shark. Like,
no,
how does that mean that she was a baby shark?
Because you know that song, like "Baby Shark," baby shark. No, she was the baby shark.
I don't know.
It was good. It was a good costume, honestly.
But it was fun. Other than that, we have a special
shout out to a special guest.
No, special episode today, guys. We're at a new location and we want to bring in BlueHourValley. A lot of people follow you on
that's the Instagram tag.
Tag, but let people know your real name, Dima
Alberchenko.
There we go.
Thank you. I didn't want to butcher the last
name. No, it's story of my life.
Hey, right? Story of my life. Like it's like I relate to that. My name is Jeff Day. Everybody says Jeff. Jeff. It's like I just gotta say Jeff, but I feel that, bro. Yeah. Like sometimes you just gotta.
But thank you, sir, for coming out and having a good and spending time with us, talking, sitting down. We sat a little earlier and got to know you a little bit better and. Tell us a little more about yourself. You know what I mean? I told you a story about people last night telling me, oh, you're going to sit down with BlueHourValley tonight. You know what I mean? You got 16,000, I won't say 16,000 followers on Instagram that love this feel for the valley that you bring to them. And tell us a little more about yourself. Tell us who you are. Or what you do. You know?
Photography.
I love that. Yeah,
I take pictures. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 5 years now.
Right.
And it started as just like walking around, exploring the neighborhood, going on walks, clearing my mind, that kind of thing.
And you could see that a lot for sure in what you bring to, I guess, social content. But what attracted you to the valley? Like, how long have you been living in the valley for say?
I've been living in North Hollywood since 2014.
Okay.
It's like 8 years, right?
Okay.
And but I've been working here since 2006.
Los Angeles area.
My first job was in Valley Village.
Oh, wow.
My
Okay.
first like adult job, you know.
Wow.
I feel like a good like what got you that blue tint? Like I feel like that caught a lot of people's eye. Like why
Blue Hour? Because we
Yeah.
did learn about it earlier. What makes it the name? Because a lot of people hear that golden hour, but what makes it that blue hour?
Yeah, well, Blue Hour. So that's like something from. I mean, that's a film school thing.
Right.
Cinematographers, photographers know it too, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, like golden hour is kind of when everybody thinks of Southern California.
Right.
You know, the sunset and the golden. You know. But then right after that, you get the blue hour, which is only maybe like 20 to 30 minutes of twilight.
Right. For sure.
And that to me, like I call blue hour the filet mignon of daylight.
Ooh, I like
because
that.
it's like,
I like
it's
that.
the rarest and softest cut of daylight, you know?
Ooh.
So pretty much, you know, that's when everything looks their best, I think. So
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
No, because the pictures definitely catch the eye, like just off top. And I feel like, especially if you're from the valley, like you see the locations that you pick, you see the certain, like, it just catches the eye. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm just complimenting you right now. Like,
you talked a lot about earlier before about the circus liquor, different places that are kind of iconic to a San Fernando Valley native or somebody that grew up here, somebody that appreciates it, right? So like we look at it, and I love that though the way we got to sit down and talk about the whole experience, the whole process that you go into taking to these pictures, right? It's blue hour. It's a certain time of the day that's specific, right? And it's this I feel like your pictures are at a certain angle that you get these buildings or these monuments at that right time, right? And it brings back that nostalgia for the
that's
rest
what
of
it
us.
is. It's nostalgia.
The rest of us to look back
It
and be
is.
like, I drove home
Exactly.
at this time.
100%.
And I saw this church, or I saw this liquor store, or I saw the we were
I
just
saw
talking
the
about it before.
Firestone. No, I saw like
the
one of the
Firestone
pictures
on Van Nuys.
Yeah, one of your
exactly.
most recent pictures was the Firestone building, like with that like sign. It's like no one
I've
would
been
think,
there.
no one would think to catch that, but it's just like that's fire. Like that is dope.
It grasps that thing, and that's where it like that's why I'm so happy that we're able to sit down and talk to you, because you're such a unique story, and I'm glad that we've been able to like get to know you a little more, right? Because you're not from the valley.
right.
You're not from San Fernando Valley.
Shout out to New Jersey, right?
Shout out to New Jersey. Shout out to because you're what an American is, an immigrant, right?
Yeah.
Come to America to make a new life. You know what I mean? You put up one of your posts there that's it's you with the American flag over, and you got a Dodgers shirt on, and then the next picture it's you as a kid with a Yankee shirt on. It shows that I guess that valley that we see is of people coming to find a new life, right? Whatever you came from, whatever you did, you've made the best out of it, and you've made people feel. I feel like here in the valley that you're part of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit more about that. Your story, how you came to do photography, how you came to love this. What you're doing, you know what I mean? You do this as a full-time job, right? Or
Right.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, you know, the valley kind of raised me, you know.
Wow, yeah.
Because like when I came to America 30 years ago, I barely knew English, you know. I didn't
Right.
like I wasn't it's not like today where, you know, all kids from most countries will learn it, you know.
Right.
But I had to kind of like learn it on the fly. You know, they shipped me off to public school in 3rd grade and said, you know, good luck. One time I peed my pants
Dang.
Wow.
because I didn't know how to say, can I go to the bathroom?
Nah. Like fuck it, I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, well, I thought I could wait, but I thought I could hold it. But anyway, yeah, no, I grew up so like, you know, I started learning the language and just like kind of like immersing myself
Right.
through TV and movies and
Like
and
all of
music.
us, yeah.
And all that stuff came
Yeah.
from Southern California. A lot of it specifically in the Valley because
Honestly.
filming locations, like the first show I watched, like to learn English, like my first week in America was Saved by the Bell.
And that was filmed in the Valley.
The exterior at least was Grant High School, I think. That was also the same school from Power Rangers.
What? Was
So
it really?
Yeah. So I grew up.
Shout out to the Pink Ranger.
I met her.
What?
I met her. She called
Kimberly?
me. She called me cute.
Ooh.
Dude, what?
Bow, 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 bow.
What?
That's iconic. That's an iconic moment.
What 9-year-old me would have?
9-year-old me, I'm like, damn, this is a hero in the midst, bro.
Yep.
But we were just on the way to the studio. You were just telling us about the street. You know what I mean? Like the
Terminator?
Terminator. You know what I mean? Like it's the Valley. I didn't realize it. Like me and him grew up here. We lived here. We were born here, grew up here, had our lives here, but we don't realize what we have here. You know what I mean? And sitting down talking to you with that brought that to my light. Like I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize the street was in Terminator 2.
The first Terminator 2, I mean, there's some locations. I watched American movies before I got to America.
Right.
And that was like my introduction to it.
To America.
So like, you see like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Valley.
Yeah.
And to me, that was just California. That's America,
Dude, I feel like.
And then all my favorite music came from here. And
I feel like that's always. Because a lot of movies and shows are filmed in the Valley. So I feel like people always associate the Valley with Los Angeles. But it's like, it's the same yet so separate. It's like two different things. But it's like, it's good to like see that. Shout out to the Valley. Like, it's like you still get that clout. Even like people know those locations. Like this is not just Los Angeles. Like.
And then I really want to highlight that point that you said. A lot of the music that you heard came from this Los Angeles area. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of things that we grew up on, and I like to we looked you up. We saw your website. You have a lot of like. You did a thesis you went to USC, right?
I did film school, yeah.
That's why I didn't ask. So you did film school at USC. Mm-hmm. Your graduate. It
was a graduate program. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like a program that's not easy to get into.
Right. Yeah. I didn't get in the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm trying to get to the meat and the bone, the meat of the bone of the story here of Dima, of who you are, of what you came to. You know what I mean? You immigrated to the United States. You grew up in South Jersey,
North Jersey.
No, North Jersey. We were just talking about the difference between that.
Yeah.
North Jersey. What school did you go for undergraduate school?
I was at Vassar.
Okay.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York. So you mainly lived your life in the East Coast, that New York life, and then moved out to Los Angeles later on.
I mean, as soon as I graduated college, because my college, like Vassar, was like 10 minutes from my parents' house.
Yeah. Okay.
So like I went to college, but I didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't live on
commuter.
campus.
You're commuting.
I was a commuter. Yeah. But
us to Pierce.
Yeah, but it's just different because like it's a tiny school, in a town where like schools are kind of the like it's kind of a college town basically.
Yeah.
But there's really not much else going on.
It almost seems like Riverside, right? It's like you have like fucking Cal Baptist, you have La Sierra, you have UCR, you have Redlands University. It's like a college town. Like it's just a place like that. It's just colleges, nothing else but schools.
But that's still at least like you're next to like a major city, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
and then where you were from is not necessarily
no. I mean, you have to take the train to get to the city. That's an hour and a half away.
Really? Wow.
So yeah.
No, and that's what I like. I kind of like piecing this all together. You know what I mean? Who you are, where you came from, these experiences, where you lived in the East Coast, moved out. How old were you moving out to Los Angeles?
21.
21 years old. By yourself, not knowing anybody.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody here.
What do you think about the city when you first like dropped off here, bro?
Well, I came like a year before to kind of scout, like me and my
That's
mom.
great.
We came. And it was also
you gotta
like
be safe. Every mom's got to be safe.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It was like we came the first time we came. we were essentially just tourists. You know, we did all
Right,
the
right,
tourist
right.
shit, and you know, like
The pier,
Hollywood
Santa Monica
Boulevard.
Pier,
the pier, the
Hollywood Pier.
fucking Walk of Fame,
Yeah.
you know, all that,
Yeah.
just all that stuff that like I would never want to do now.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But we
Never
all
even go there.
but we
You have
all
to do
wanted.
it.
I still don't understand what attracts people to the Walk of Fame.
Because you hear about it.
And they still do
But they
it.
do
though.
it. Yeah, it
No,
happened to me.
You just
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
about it. You just hear about it. Like you have to go. It's like when you go to Nashville, you're gonna go to that same street. You're gonna go to when you go to Vegas, you're gonna go to the Strip. When you go to any town, like you're gonna go to them main.
New
thing
York,
that
you're
you
gonna go
heard.
to Manhattan, right
Exactly.
there in the
It's
middle.
just LA's got so much like
Better
so much
things, yeah.
than the tour. Like I can't believe I lived here 5 years before I saw Griffith Observatory.
Really?
You know, yeah,
5 years.
Yeah, and I was like, how did I not like, see this on my
And
first
that's
week?
like low key. Like that's like to me, that's a tourist attraction. Like,
But it's worth it.
it's
like
right.
it's,
No,
it's-
that-
that
that's
one's
the best
worth
one.
it. Yeah,
No, that one's good.
yeah.
No, and have you guys done the hike?
No, I've
Like,
never done the
there's
hike,
a
no.
hike that you go up to the observatory.
Yeah.
And do it right before sunset.
Well,
Beautiful.
I sort of did the hike when I parked 2 miles away
I know.
down the road.
You're like,
Okay,
oh, this is good parking. I gotta walk all the way up. Dude, I've done that too.
Yeah.
Like, I parked all the way down. I was like, yo, let me just like fight for parking up here because this is bad,
Like, you
dude.
used to be able to park up there, but
Yeah, for sure.
now
You
it's
can't
like,
park in that. Okay.
well, I it just got so crowded.
yeah, exactly.
I remember like 2012 was when they landed the rover on Mars, and they had like a live event, you know, there.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen it that packed. Like down in that bottom room, right where they have all the stuff.
Yeah,
It was
the
just
observatory.
there. Everyone was just sitting on the floor. Like there was no space to.
Dude, talking about fucking
It was
rockets and like satellites and shit. Like on
Thursday.
Friday, was it Thursday?
Yeah.
Dude, I was driving back from work to my house. The it just like flew up into the sky, dude. SpaceX.
I saw the trails are, you know.
No, I saw the whole rocket literally like come up. Like I was like, oh, this is a nuke. We're done.
Wait, what's happening?
It's SpaceX
Hey,
launched a rocket.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's like a satellite for like internet. It's like SpaceX, so it's more about like spreading the
Putting
internet.
Wi-Fi on the moon.
No, it's not going to the moon. They're just like doing a satellite supposedly. But either way, I'm like, holy, like is Iron Man in the sky right now? Right? It literally looked like that. It was like, and you could see the little like light. It was crazy. I was shocked.
Awesome.
I was shocked and appalled.
But before we got so sidetracked from everything, we getting to know you a little more. You got to LA. You had already gone to school. You went straight from New Jersey to here for graduate school, or
New York, upstate New York. But no, I came here to work. You know,
just to work.
yeah, because I was gonna do grad school, but that was the first time I applied, and I only applied to like a couple of select schools because
Because that's an interesting story. Like you went from a school that's, you know what I mean, like a little smaller school to
it's tiny. It was smaller than my high school.
exactly like to USC, a program that's like
Iconic.
It's iconic, as well as a film school that's got money that's poured into it.
I feel like even
Not everybody is accepted into that
I
program.
feel like even LA kids, like and Valley kids, look at USC as like unattainable.
right.
Like you look at USC, like you're like that's the school, like that, like people go to, and UCLA of course, but it's like that's even like you look at the same. They're like the same. Like UCLA, USC. You look at them
No,
like
but the
Titans.
Yeah, but the
Like-
USC film school is by far none like something else.
Yeah,
You know what I
there's
mean?
not-
Like,
yeah. I mean, we had at some point we had like 10 sound stages.
Wow.
I mean, it's yeah.
No,
Have you
there's-
seen the
no,
campus like in the last 10 years?
no way,
No.
no way.
I mean, they right when I arrived, it was like 09
Okay.
when I started going. That was the summer they started building everything. So we got to see it because they had an old building
Right.
that they tore down completely to build the new one. And the old one wasn't even that old. It was like from the 80s.
Right.
But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
but what it is now is, I mean, it's huge. It's a,
No, and so that's where I'm diving into the story of Dima. It's like you went there, you're finishing film school. I mean, the way you talk about your photography, I could see a cinematographer looking at lights. You know what I mean? Like I did barely like a half a year in fucking film school in like my undergraduate. You know what I mean? But no, seeing the way you talk about and look at certain situations, the way you take pictures, that's where I'm trying to understand. You know what I mean? Like what made you want to start Blue Hour and like after all of that? You know what I mean? Because you could see the cinematography, you could see the background, you could see where you're coming from, right?
Well, I didn't even know this at the time, but I learned this kind of like on my own, like discovering something about yourself.
Right.
Like I found out where the blue comes from.
Where
James Cameron movies.
Really?
Oh, okay,
Every one of his movies is blue.
Is that why everyone's
Yes.
blue?
Every time he's got a night scene.
God
That's why
damn.
Avatar, Titanic, Terminator. I mean, you know.
That's true though. Titanic.
I actually I put together. I'll have to find it, but I put together a collage of like just different James Cameron movies, and they've all got that blue.
That's true. Titanic is like the whole movie's in a blue, like dark tint.
Yeah,
straight up.
That's how he does night.
What did you say? Terminator 2? I didn't really notice it in Terminator, but for sure, Titanic, 100%.
Avatar.
Avatar. The aliens are blue, bro.
The Abyss is blue. I mean, pretty much all. Terminator 2, like anytime there's a night scene,
So
it's blue.
you bring that inspiration of those. I could say, would you say James Cameron's an inspiration to you?
Well, that's who was like the filmmaker I looked up to when I went to film school.
Dude, that dude is...
Those were the kind of movies I used to want to make.
That dude is like intricate with his things, bro. He takes such a long time to like put things out.
But that answer, I like that because there's different people that I would say, Francis Ford Coppola was one of my favorite directors, cinematographers. You know what I mean? Because it's a different side of it, dark and reds and blacks. You know what I mean? Where James Cameron's more of a blues and I like to see that though. Like that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you never like you pick up on this stuff without even knowing it.
Yeah.
You know, just like learning a language or
Yeah.
just like coming to Southern California
See,
because
the
you're
thing
like,
is-
I already know this place. I feel like, you know, it raised me. So yeah.
And
In
the
what
good-
way?
The good thing about the valley too is like you could see those like colors that you're talking about. Like
No, but
those colors definitely come out.
but I want to dive a little bit. Like, in what way did the Valley raise you a little bit?
Well, like we were saying earlier, how much of how I learned America and English was through, you know, movies and TV.
Right.
Much of which were centered around us, because you know, like LA had to come to you if you didn't not born and raised, right?
Yes.
Like you had to wait for Warped Tour. That
Right.
brought Southern California to.
We got
every city.
Warped Tour aficionados right here, dude.
Yeah, and so things like that, like, you know, movies, you know, like I grew up just listening to California bands, you know, but still my favorite bands from the Valley, you know, so it's like that's just kind of how
it raised you and attracted you to this place. You know what I mean? You could see it. Like, I feel like a lot of your work and a lot of the people see and people follow is because you're like, wow, this is somebody that understands me, even though like, and I'm glad that we're getting you on camera and on our podcast.
Yeah, because
Thank
you
for
can't.
that.
I'm gonna tell you this. Like, I didn't know who you were until you posted that picture where you have the flag across you. Like, I followed you for a long time, and I was like, who is this person? Like, and showing love to the Valley, like, which seems like obviously it's in films. Obviously, it's like all over the United States in many media formats. But I almost feel like personally, it's underappreciated, and you're putting a light on it. Like, you're like the basic places, the places that no one looks at, like the places that I drive past and I don't even notice.
Yeah.
And like, you're really putting a light on that. And then when I see it on your profile, I'm like, dude, like, I see that every day. I see this. This is an iconic place in the Valley. Like, to me, like, that's fire, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
if you know, you know. It's like,
Exactly. No, for sure. I think that's what makes or makes me happy about our San Fernando Valley, and it makes me happy about Los Angeles is a guy like you that's traveled so much in his life, right? You could say has been in places, is not necessarily born and bred from here,
but showing love.
but feels and acts and I would say in your art talks like how we do. You know what I mean? That's what made BlueHourValley so popular in my sense, my I don't know, interpretation of it all. You know what I mean? Like people look at it and be like, yeah, this guy understands what the Valley's about.
See, that's because sometimes I don't know. When I started it, I didn't know much about the Valley. Like or rather, I knew more than I realized, but I didn't know that I knew.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly that.
Yeah. Like I'm like, wait, this is familiar, but you know.
Right. And then you just got to take that. It's that setback, that broader stroke to it all that we appreciate. And I feel like as a fellow Valetian, what should we call ourselves?
Valetians. We're calling ourselves Valetians.
I thought we called ourselves Valley Girls.
That's true. That's very true.
No, we don't.
Is a very much part of our conversation.
I've known about Valley Girls for a long time.
Dude, that's right. Dude, I feel like Valley Girls, it's like, oh, Valley Girls, that whole mall culture is definitely like Valley. Like from the other states, like everywhere else.
A place where we just hung out at before we came here.
The Northridge Mall.
The Northridge Mall. Iconic to the Valley.
Yeah.
Iconic to the Valley. Like, I feel like that's where Valley Girls started. You know what I mean?
That is where
that's where.
Yeah, I saw them earlier today.
I saw them.
They were there.
I seen it.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's definitely a place to reflect on. But I want to thank you, dude, like for sitting down and talking with us, hanging out, sharing a little more about who you are. You know what I mean. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man, it was great. Thank you.
Anything you want to add to it?
I mean, are we ending this? This is over?
No. I mean, we can take a break real quick and we'll come back.
All right, we could do that.
All right.
Like if you know anybody who's Russian or Ukrainian,
Right.
Yeah, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
And
What? Well,
and it kind of has taken over everything. Like I haven't gotten out to shoot as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
It just, yeah. I mean, it's a mess.
So you're Ukrainian?
No, I mean my grandfather was Ukrainian. Like
okay.
I was raised Russian, but you know my family comes from like all the former republics. Basically.
Yeah, Eastern Europe, basically.
Yeah.
And what's going on? It's funny. Welcome back, guys. From the break, Unlucky Specialist, your boy Sam Torres.
Your boy just debated smoking. I'm sorry.
In the studio, out here with BlueHourValley, Dima. I'm still say I'm just gonna call you by your first name because I'm not gonna butcher the last name.
That's all.
you know what I mean?
Right.
But hanging out, and we've been talking about you here in the Valley, how you've been.
And the thing is that I love that we're talking about even before, like that aesthetic, right? It's like, to me, like BlueHourValley, Dima, is all about aesthetics. Like you're literally just like leaning into that, like fuck it, I can't even say it. That vibe, bro. Yeah. I hate to say that word, but you're leaning into that vibe. Like it's just every picture is that look. And I feel it draws people in.
So what would you like to promote for yourself? Like, how would you like people to like coming off of this podcast? How would you like people to be like, look, this is a guy I want to contract, or this guy I want to follow. This is a guy I want to. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I don't really have a scheme. With this. This was literally the whole project's literally just kind of a little bit of self-therapy. It's a little bit of just doing it for the sake of doing it.
I like that. I like that.
I love that.
But it's nice, because like the strangest thing that I realized was like this is kind of like my loneliest project because mostly I photograph people, right? I shoot, so there's always at least someone there.
Right.
Sometimes it's a crowd, sometimes it's journalism, whatever, right?
Right.
But this is literally like it's just you and a camera,
right,
and a pair of headphones, and
right.
But the wild thing is that that's been what brought more attention and people to the whole thing, because like it's weird that like your loneliest project becomes the most popular. the one that connects.
I feel like it's something that we've been talking about a lot, like this whole podcast you're capturing that moment, that stillness, that part where I'm in traffic by myself and I see that building, or where I'm running because I want to run down my street and I see the circus liquor, or I'm walking my dog, you know what I mean? And I see that stillness, that aloneness, that you and the visual of that, you through that camera, and that you're giving to people. And I like that.
It translates, huh?
It translates.
It definitely translates, bro. Especially to like people in the like. Oh, I feel like only people from Southern California are gonna relate, but it's just something about it. It's just something about showing the valley love. Like it just seems like the area.
Love in a way that we're talking about in a different way, in a way that's not like, oh, we could say like, oh, I could put a t-shirt that says I love SFV, right?
Yeah.
But this is a different kind of love. This is a love that you're looking at something and you're like, we all appreciate that.
Yeah, because they're iconic.
We all appreciate this spot. We all appreciate this time of day in this thing, because one of our technicians, producers, Jesus here, loves going to different views because we have tons of different like little spots.
Big view guy.
Throughout, he is a huge view guy.
Jesus, like yes,
yeah, I do. If we had a camera on him, he'd be like yes. No. Loves, there's just outlooks throughout all of Valley, up on Reseda, Mulholland. Give me another one. Winnetka. Yeah, exactly. So he's got a bunch of different areas where you could look out into the valley and look out and say, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? Looking out.
Latuna Canyon has some of the best views of like Los Angeles in the valley.
Does it?
That's right there on it's on 210, and you get off on Latuna, straight up Latuna on the 210. If you climb all the way to the top, best views of the valley and of Los Angeles. It's like straight up, like you can see everything.
Love it.
You know, like maybe this is less true now, but when I started this, it just felt like nobody was taking pictures of the valley.
No one.
Like everyone keeps shooting Santa Monica downtown, and the same picture you see over and over again. And like the valley's been, I feel like there's been a couple. There were a couple, dude, you know, but yeah, like
the only dudes that I know that take pictures of the valley, they do graffiti, bro. Like it's like they're doing like graph and they're taking pictures of the spots in the valley. Like no one shows love.
And that's what the valley's a lot of been like known for.
Yeah, it's like no one shows love in terms of like the spots, because it's like suburbia, low key. It's like basically a lot of suburbs, a lot of mountains.
And I'm gonna say this as total a compliment, but what your profile brings me back to is the origin of what Instagram should have been, or what was. You know what I mean? You'd take a picture and you'd share of that place. You'd share a certain like location. Yeah, people would be like, "Oh, this is." I wouldn't say I guess food, but like I look at your page and I see
it's like the OG Instagram.
Right. Instagram, where we were taking a picture of a place and like, oh, everybody else needs to see this. Yeah. This at this certain time, right? We were given that platform for all of us to show. We might know a little bit of photography, even though we don't know. But you know what I mean? Like this,
it's for pictures. It's for like moments. Like you're actually like putting up pictures and moments. Like, and now Instagram's all about like yourself and like what I'm doing like at this time. But I feel like that it's like this is just like a place. Like you're like actually putting like it's like this is what this is, and it's gonna be here for a long time, and people have appreciated this. Like to me, I appreciate that.
And then I want to build off that. What we're doing at this time? What are you doing? What's next? What's going on for BlueHourValley? What's going on for Dima? You know what I mean? Like just in life, in your art, in your way to express yourself. What's next?
This has been a really strange year.
Right. Right.
like if you know anybody who's Russian or Ukrainian,
Right.
yeah, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
And
What? Well,
and it kind of has taken over everything. Like I haven't gotten out to shoot as much as I would like to.
yeah.
It just, yeah, I mean, it's a mess.
So you're Ukrainian.
No, I mean, my grandfather was Ukrainian. Like
okay.
I was raised Russian. But you know, my family comes from like all the former republics, basically.
Yeah, Eastern Europe, basically.
Yeah.
Like that whole area.
And what's going on? It's funny because a lot of people like to we'll pass through what's going on in Europe and in Ukraine. Like, yeah, the first couple of months, like, oh, we believe in it, and then after that, you're like, yeah,
Drags, yeah. Then it just becomes the next week, and
right. Especially and I hate that about.
I mean, for better or
America.
worse, it's that's just America's wars, right? Like it's just like everything. Like for us here, it just becomes like a passing narrative.
Right, which
Like
is
that's just
stupid as fuck. But
well, it's one of those things that, like, I don't know how close we are to like World War III.
it seems like we're
You know what I
there
mean?
already.
Because sooner or later, this might become everyone's problem.
It seems
Right,
like we're there.
exactly.
Honestly, personally,
Because that's how it's happened before.
Personally, I feel like
Right.
we're already there. Like World War III has already started.
Yeah.
We're there already.
the whole talk back between China. And
No,
Russia.
we're there already. It's just like that's how shit happens, bro. It's like it's like a lot of people like the main thing I've always heard is like you don't know that a civil war is going on when it's going on because you're still going to the grocery store. You're still going to buy food. You're still, it's like shit is happening around you, but you're still living your life until you get killed. You know what I mean? Like you're still like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like life is going on. So I feel like World War III, bro, like on some real shit, like it's already happening, bro. We're just living our lives. Like because like shit, we're living our life. Like what is Sam gonna do?
And
Like,
to me, it's so crazy. Like I'm just sitting here and listening to the answer you gave me. Is I asked, what's the next thing going on for Dima? What's the next thing going on for BlueHourValley? But the identity of who you are goes along, and that's like to me beautiful, right? Goes along with whatever's going on back home. You know what I mean? Like, or because you can continue doing what you're doing, but you're standing up for something that's not standing up, but you're also saying my life is affected here, whether I want it or not, by what's going on back there, right?
Well, and you mentioned identity too, because like, yeah, this is when your whole identity takes a big hit because like a lot of things you were raised with were not true. We're not, were, you know, you didn't even know there's a lot of people who feel betrayed by their upbringing a little bit. And
no, I get you. I get it for sure. And I appreciate that, the honesty, the bluntness, even, you know what I mean? To be like, this is how I feel. This is what it is, what isn't. And I feel like that's what more of us and this, I know this sounds maybe ignorant, stupid, but casual Americans that we just look at things and for the first moment and be like, oh, this is serious, and the next moment, whatever.
the next thing,
you
forget
about it is
that we need to listen to. You know what I mean? Like that people need to listen to a little more. They need to have not information because the information is given to us every day,
every day.
But having that person to person that
Just
that
being
neighbor,
conscious, like that word is kind of like played out, but just being conscious of what's going on, like what is happening, like being aware. It's like now, like that whole woke shit got like taken over by like fucking politics, but it's like just being awake to like what's happening, what's happening. Or, like that's what it was when I was 13 in the valley, listening to fucking whatever the fuck. It was like being like aware was being woke. It wasn't like this crazy shit. It was just like, hey, I'm aware of what's happening in the world.
That's one of the best things about Americans, though, is like they take an active role in politics, in the people who take an active role in them.
Yeah,
you know, because like the thing with Russia is a lot of times it's like, no, we don't go into politics. We don't, I don't concern myself with politics, but then politics concerns itself with you. You know, like it'll
That's fire. That's
you know, because it affects everything
you are.
And politics is like, this is the thing, like you can try to like stay away from politics, but like he said, politics will make its way to you, bro. Like it'll come to you, bro. Like it's so hard to avoid. Like you could be like, I'm not interested, but it'll be interested in you. Like,
yeah, because people are, you know, like the whole abortion thing this year.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, you know, like that affects
every day. Yeah, everybody.
Like whatever side you're on, it affects you. Like it's just like you're affected. Like it's gonna like come to you regardless. Like so it's like, you know, like I said, like when I was a little kid, like it's like, oh, like I'm thinking about the Iraq war, I'm thinking about Afghanistan, this, that, and the third. And it's like it's like that was woke back then. It was like, oh, like you could go to school and be like, oh, I know about fucking foreign policy a little bit. You don't know about foreign policy, but like you could talk about that. But now it's like that word has been like fucking put through the fucking ringer and blended and put in a fucking smoothie. And now it's like, woke is some weird ass shit now. Like I don't even want to be associated with that shit. It's like, but now it's like, so what? Like, are the nukes coming? Like, is this the fucking Cuban Missile Crisis? Is this fucking like the 60s again? Like, are we doing nuclear drills? Like, you don't know. Like, so it's like you can't be like too separate from it. You gotta be like actively aware about shit. Like you have to then you're just gonna get caught up. Like you're just gonna get caught up regardless.
Well, it kind of goes back to like photographing the neighborhood though too, because at the end of the day it all boils down to like taking interest in your home and the people who live there and, you know, your neighbors, that kind of thing.
Who's around you? What makes this community? What builds and I love that you brought it back there too. You know what I mean? This is what I feel like we grew up the Valley being. Mm-hmm. People around us caring for the people around us, caring for the areas around us. You know what I mean? There was a sense of unity, and I love that we tied it all back in. We're segue kings over here, guys.
Segue demons.
You know what I mean? Is why we brought you on here and why people are so excited to see you, see the man behind what brings this nostalgia to each and every one of us, is this feeling of community, this feeling of a place. San Fernando Valley, like you were talking to us off the air, is you're not only getting people from the that are currently living in the valley, but you grew up in the valley, living in wherever, you know what I mean, all over the world. You know what I mean? You're getting people that are saying, wow, that's where I grew up. That's thank you for bringing me back to where I lived, where I grew up, where I bought my local chips and Gatorade, where you know what I mean, like, and that's big, and that's why I love that your story is so unique, Dima. Like it's you're somebody that's not from here, that's not even from, and we came from the whole immigrant thing, you know what I mean, not from the United States, but you grew up in North Jersey, and then you moved out to the valley, to move out to Los Angeles, and showed people
it's American as fuck. It's American as fuck.
No, seriously.
It's American
if we
as
could
fuck.
have the fucking flag and a bald eagle flying over, we'd have Dima right in the middle. A story. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
To show people that have progressed and created that American dream, whatever your American dream may be, which it may be shooting and photography and film, all of that, and you've touched people's lives through it. You know what I mean?
Because I'm gonna keep it real, like as a Valley native, your profile, like I appreciate it. Like it's like one of my favorites. I'm like, that's love. Like that's like Valley love, and I appreciate it. Like just
and
like
the way you talk about it, honestly, like the way you talk about it, you're very like, you know, that's how I feel. Like that's very like how I look at things. And we're like, I'm glad we were able to sit with you and talk to you before this podcast to see the person that you are, because you're just like very. That's the way I look at things, and as a Valley native, we're like, thank you for appreciating
straight up.
the beauty of what you know. It is. It may not be beautiful to other people, but it's beautiful to us here.
And we're glad people acknowledge that beauty. Like, it's like it means a lot. Like,
it means a lot to me too.
Yeah. No, and we see that. And please keep working on. Keep doing
100%. Keep it up.
Please keep putting out that content. Please, on behalf of every Angelino and as well as Valley. We're gonna go work on the name, not Valetian.
We'll work on it. Then we still gotta go workshop that.
We thank you and keep doing that, dude. I appreciate that.
Thank you for being on, my boy. That
Thanks
was fire.
for having me. Thank you.
No, and for being such a good person, like just hanging out. If you guys have not followed,
check that out.
BlueHourValley, check it out on Instagram.
Plug whatever you got. What do you got?
Your favorite stuff. His website's on there. If you need a photographer,
yeah, I'm around.
I'm here. I'm there.
Hit me up. But other than that, thank you guys for sitting in with us, for joining us. I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to this podcast because I've been talking to you guys about it. But thank you. It's your boy Sam Torres.
It's your boy Jeff Pena. Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Blue Hour Valley, aka Demon. We out here. Peace. We love y'all.